a secret hotel, some secret papers. Guys, I have a cheating wife, and now I am ready to tell my story. It's come to my attestation that infidelity undermines the very foundation of marriage in many ways. It causes heartbreak, devastation, loneliness, feelings of betrayal, and confusion to one of the both spouses in a marriage, and vice versa. On my way back from home after a long, stressful day at work, I was anticipating to see my wonderful wife. Well, who called me an hour ago and said, "Honey, I made your favorite meal," until I was stuck on the road for about 2 hours. Finally, I'm back home to relax, eat, and prepare for the next day. After I finish my meal, I ask my wife to get me some documents in the bedroom. I'm just so happy to have such a loving and pleasant woman. She hosted me about how her day went and work and everything that happened at her office. My night was fun and fulfilling, even though I'm not providing all her needs. We're living comfortably, which I'm always so proud of her. It's a well-known fact between me and my wife that my salary is much lower than hers. She does help out to settle some finance issues, which I cherish her for, because I believe she's helping me out as a good wife that the Bible preached. Not until I discovered the source from where she raises her money used for helping me out with these responsibilities. I trust my Tina, I really do. So much that I can beat my chest for her. I never believed that she could be among those women that would cheat on their husband. I've heard from my friends that she does cheat on me, but I never believe them. I always ignore them by saying, "Tina's a good woman. Tina's a good wife. She doesn't cheat on me." And my friends will mock me and say, "Don't worry. By the time she carries another man's pregnancy for you, your eyes will open." Every day will go the same way, but don't end the same way. After my friends told me about my wife cheating on me, I decided to find out the truth once and for all. I came up with a strategy that'll help me to catch her red-handed. I hired 5 guys to monitor her movement from home to the office and even to her friend's place. I instructed the guys to follow her wherever she showed up in any of their areas. All these guys always give me reports on her daily movement, but I realized that none of them gives different reports on her movement daily. Everyone just brings the same report every day, and I began to doubt if they do stay where I positioned them to monitor her for me. It's like the guys just tell me whatever they like just for the money. Then I decided to check them and find out they are doing what I'm paying them for or not. One day, I disguised myself and dressed with a kufi. It's a Muslim attire, and I covered my face with cloth and around my neck. I began to watch them one after the other. I went to check them in their various streets, and I later realized that the guys are doing their jobs. They stayed in their positions and watched my wife's movements. There was no difference between what the guys had been reporting back to me. Then I knew something was wrong somewhere. Tina will come back home tired every day, and she'll either complain or just say she has a backache, hand ache, leg ache, thigh ache, headache, or the whole body ache whenever she comes back from work. If I complain to her about what's causing her to get tired every day and complain of body pain, she'll tell me this: "Don't you know the gravity of my work? Do you think it's easy to sit down and write, correct, and check different files?" I'll be like, what's there in sitting down in an office full of AC? Receiving cool air and just clicking on the keyboard and looking at a computer screen. You call that stress? Tina and I barely make love, and it maybe just happens twice a month. Well, I paid those guys for about 5 months, but when I didn't see any changes in their report, I laid them off. Then I decided to take another dimension towards getting my cheating wife. At this point, it was so obvious that she cheats. Looking at the whole thing critically, since I knew her movement from her office to her friend's place and all the other places she normally goes to, in which I planted those guys before I sacked them, I discovered that there's a place she goes to which I didn't notice, and I didn't assign anyone to monitor her movements in that area. So I decided to find someone to monitor her movements there, for I didn't want to rehire the same people. I found out that the way of the shop of my cousin's sister Isabella was along this particular area my wife goes. There's a hotel suite where people go to relax and have fun with their loved ones. Isabella does go there with her boyfriend to have fun and discuss. I talked to her about my wife cheating on me, but she didn't believe me. She said I should not believe what everybody says. Then I told her about my plan on getting my wife caught red-handed. I asked her if I could rely on her. Quote, "Will you keep this as a secret between us until I find out the truth?" She promised to keep it a secret and also promised to help me find out if her sister's truly cheating on me, and then she'll inform me whenever she sees her with any man. For a good week, Isabella has been trailing her. She told me she always sees her in the hotel, but she's always just standing alone outside the hotel, and later goes inside after some minutes that she gets to the hotel. I believe she was always waiting for the man to come before she entered the hotel. Isabella said that, quote, "I don't see her with any man when she's going inside, and she always comes out alone. So there is a mix-up somewhere. I can see that her cousin notices that there's a man. Tina always waits for her before she goes inside to wait for him in the hotel room." Then I told Isabella a strategy she could use to get all the necessary pieces of information. I told her to have a relationship with the receptionist. From there, she'll get to know my wife comes there to do, whom she always comes with, and the room number that they lodge at. Isabella understands this strategy and followed it perfectly. She started making friends with the receptionist by acting like she wants to apply for a job as a cleaner in the hotel. But because there was no vacancy for such a job at the moment, the receptionist told her to come back another time. The receptionist said, "You can check back tomorrow or the next, probably there might be vacancy for laundering work." Isabella answered that she'll be coming there every day to check for the job offer. She's sounding as if she was ready to start working immediately, but the receptionist did not know that there was a motive behind her requesting to work in the hotel. Subsequently, after 3 days, Isabella and the receptionist were getting closer and closer each day. This gave her the privilege to ask the receptionist some personal questions about those who do lodge in the hotel. Meanwhile, because the receptionist was already trusting her, she opened up and engaged in some very private discussion about their customs with Isabella. The receptionist told her about both married women and men who lodge in their hotel to have fun with their concubines. It was in this scenario that Isabella stylishly asked her about Tina and that man she always comes here with. By the time that she was done describing my wife to the receptionist recognized Tina instantly. She told Isabella that Tina doesn't allow anyone to know the man that she always comes with. She said my wife has booked a room for them for 5 months, and she'll renew the payment after the due date. She would have told the man the room number so that as he arrives at the hotel, she'll first go inside, and after a while, the man will walk in, tell the receptionist that he's here to see the person in that room number, and she'll direct him to the enclosure. My blood was already boiling when Isabella was telling me everything. I felt like hurting her that very day when I got home, but I know that I would be at a loss. I'll be blamed for it and get punished by the government, or even get up getting killed because whoever that kills shall be killed. So I stayed calm and watched as the plan was proceeding. I told Isabella to ask the receptionist the room number Tina booked and the man she always meets. The receptionist first declined the offer by saying that Isabella wanted to send her away from work. Quote, "You want to implicate me and get me fired. Do you have a company to offer me another job? Please, Isabella." But she later obliged when Isabella promised her some amount of money if she could tell her the information she needed. Isabella told the receptionist that she'll keep it confidential and no one will know about it. Now, there are 2 problems on the ground. Firstly, the receptionist only knows the man, but cannot show him to Isabella when he comes. Isabella has to find a way to do that. Another problem is they don't have a specific time Tina and the man do come, but it's always in the evening. Isabella's boyfriend has been complaining about her going into the hotel every day. "I hope it's not what I'm thinking," quote, he asked. She replied by telling him that she only goes there to visit her friend who is the receptionist. I now told Isabella what she can do to get the man Tina always meets at the hotel. I told her to always stay at the reception and watch my wife when she arrives at the hotel, and then watch out for the man she always sees before she goes into the hotel. Isabella took note of the instruction I gave her and acted smartly with the strategy. In the evening around 4:30, Tina arrived at the hotel. Isabella sat in a corner with her face covered with a magazine, and she pretended as if she was reading, but she was peeping through the magazine. On that fateful day, Tina told me in the morning before going to work that she'll come back a bit late in the night, that she'll be attending a birthday party. I already sensed that she was lying, and she just wanted to take that as an excuse to spend time with her concubine. As soon as she left the house for the office, I finished my breakfast on time, and I gave Isabella a call. On my way to the office in the car, I told her about what my wife just told me and that she should get to the hotel on time to catch them red-handed. She obeyed and went to the hotel 30 minutes before Tina would get there. When my wife arrived, Isabella saw her and hid her face from her so that she wouldn't see her. Tina was waiting for the man as her cousin was looking out, watching that man will come and my wife will enter the hotel. Suddenly, a car drove in and a man came down from the car. Immediately, the man came down. Tina went inside the hotel smiling. Well, Isabella noticed their movements and she watched the man as he followed her. On that day, my wife did not go inside the room alone. She waited for him and held his hand to walk him down the room together. I think it's a special day for both of them, and honestly, it's probably just the guy's birthday. Isabella allowed them to go inside the room before she called me to come. I was at my office when she called. Seeing her call at the point in time, I already knew it was time for the truth to be revealed. I went straight to my lawyer's office to ask for divorce papers. My lawyer was curious about what was going on. I told him I'll explain to him, but just not at the moment. I can tell him anything at the moment, not a word. He should just give me the divorce papers first and we can discuss it later. So he gave me the divorce papers and went straight to the hotel. On getting to the hotel, I met Isabella outside. She told me the room number and how I'll get to the room when I enter the hotel. When I entered the reception, I told the receptionist that I wanted to see the people in that room. She told me the room has been taken and occupied. Then I cooked up a lie saying, I know the people who lodged in the room. The guy's my friend and today is his birthday. The lady with him is his girlfriend but wanted to surprise the guy with my presence. We've been friends for many years and it's been a while since we saw each other. The receptionist bought the lie and allowed me to go to the room. On getting to the room, I knocked on the door 3 times before someone came to open the door. It was the man himself. I pushed him aside and made my wife see that I caught her red-handed. I told her that I knew about her cheating attitude all this while, but I decided to catch her. I told her I knew all her plans and lies and all that she always cooks up when she was going to see her concubine. Whenever she sneaks out of the office to come to the hotel, all the time she lies and tells me that they'll be traveling for business trips every single weekend. And that no one that she told me that morning about her coming back late from the office, all because she wanted to have fun. I presented her the divorce papers to sign that says the marriage is over. She didn't want to sign the papers, so I told her I'll report her to the whole family, and that she knows that what will happen. She signed those divorce papers and I left the room. I thanked Isabella for a well-done job. I compensated her with a tangible amount, and no one knows what transpired between us. The whole thing favored me because we never had any children, so she has no right to any of my properties. We just both went our separate ways. This was one of those stories that was just so far-fetched to me. But hey, I've read a lot more stories that have been confirmed to be true that were even crazier than this one. But I almost lost my mind when I saw that he hired 5 people to stand on a stoop just to watch her clues all this time, and she was going to a hotel nobody was at. Luckily, in the end, he did end up catching her red-handed, but it didn't even seem like she cared that much. Divorce papers came in, and well, the rest is history. Guys, let me know your thoughts of this story. You can drop them down below, and do share your opinion or your thoughts if you've been through something similar to this. That's all the content for today. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, check back tomorrow, because Mr. Reddito has daily stories. You can find all my links directly below in the description section. Have a wonderful day.